What up, everybody? It's your boy Avil did it back with another one. However you got here, whether you already subscribed to the channel, whether I popped up on your news feed, whether somebody told you about me and you're checking me out for the first time. However you got here was meant for you to be here, so I appreciate it. Before I get started, if you can hit that hype button and hit that like button for the content. You did it? Cool. Shouts out to everybody who keep hitting that like, subscribe, hype, sharing the content. I truly appreciate it. So, to everybody out there, I always like to say thank you because I appreciate every one of y'all. All right. Who we got up? We got that kid, Karmelo Anthony, up right now.
What?
Yeah. So, this is the kid, if y'all don't remember, Karmelo Anthony. He's been going to trial. He's been in trial for the unaliving of the other kid at the football game at a sports event. And they finally came in with a verdict on this kid. I believe he was 17 at the time, 16 at the time. Let's hear what happened.
Heard that verdict, and we are seeing just a tremendous emotional reaction from some of the people in the crowd. Again, it was probably about 30 seconds to 60.
Before he gets started, I do want to say, I mean, I don't know if this is going to make some people mad, but these people are on the ground crying and totally upset. I think this is a overreaction for what the verdict was, because they've had enough time to come with the reality that this kid did unalive somebody in a brutal manner, and it was all over somebody sitting somewhere. Now, I hope he do know once you hit prison, you're not going to be able to walk around freely. Every section of race have their own part of the prison yard. So what you're going to prison for is exactly what you're going to be facing every day. And I can't really feel too sorry for the kid, because he did unalive an unarmed kid over a fight. This is kind of like what Chud the Builder is going through right now. Kinda. He provoked something, and he responded with a force that wasn't meant by the same force that he was facing. Let's continue.
Seconds after we announced it on the air, the people started getting the alerts on their phone. You could see everybody starting to look down at their phone and getting those updates and finding out that Karmelo Anthony has been found guilty of murder. We just got word from inside the courtroom that they are proceeding to the punishment phase. And Jobin Puneker, our reporter in the courtroom, says that he saw Karmelo Anthony's mother audibly sobbing in the courtroom after that verdict was read. Again, you can see some of the reaction here from outside the courtroom. We're going to keep an eye on that. But Rebecca, Tanya, I apologize for interrupting you, but I would like to bring you in for just to touch on the emotional toll that this has taken on two families.
Well, Chris, there have been people here that I have seen every single day since I got here during jury selection. Many of them fought to get into that courtroom so they could see some of the proceedings. And there were people on both sides trying to get those seats, all very emotional, but some people have been here every single day, and so many people on both sides. Austin Metcalf's family and friends wanted justice for him. They felt like he died in a senseless, very horrific way. Then there are the people on Karmelo's Anthony camp who felt like the system was rigged against him because there were three African-American jurors that identified themselves as African-American jurors that were kicked off this jury, that were not picked. I wouldn't say kicked off, but they were not selected as jurors, or they did not make the cut. And so people felt that justice system was just not going to work for Carmelo Anthony. So I suspect that that's some of the emotion that you are seeing here in right now.
What?
Now, I just want to touch on what this lady said. Now, she said the family and a lot of black people in whatever town it's in feel like just because the blacks that were there weren't selected for jury, he wouldn't get a fair trial. Now, in my perspective, I grew up in the hood, all of that. But if we're being fair, I mean, we can't argue the fact that the kid did unalive somebody. So there's no dispute there, right? Okay. We There's no dispute that the kid he unalived didn't have a weapon. There's no dispute of that. So those are two important facts that's in this case. The third is the reasonable force. Whether the kid hit him first or whoever hit who first or pushed who or whatever, a push or a punch is doesn't mean you could take out a weapon and unalive somebody. So I mean, if those three there alone, to me, it was never a question of whether he was guilty or not. To me, it was just a question of what kind of punishment is he going to receive, because he is young. But you did unalive somebody, so I don't think it's a question to me of whether he's guilty or not. Hell yeah, he's guilty. It was just a question of how bad of a punishment or is the law gonna give him. So whether it was black people, white people, Mexicans, whoever on the jury, they were gonna find him guilty because he is guilty. It's just what kind of punishment is he gonna get? Let's continue.
the display.
And Rebecca, you were in that courtroom, regardless of. Talk to a little bit about the racial makeup of this jury.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people saying that there were no minorities or that it was an all-white jury. That was not the case. There were Asian Americans, there were a lot of women, there was also a Muslim woman, a woman that also, I would say probably 4 Asian Americans. And, we don't know because the jury questionnaires are not public record. That was to protect the jury. The judge spent a lot of time trying to protect this jury because there have been threats against people in this case on both sides, and the judge wanted to make sure that the jury was protected, and so a lot of their information was never made public, and we could hear the crowd getting louder and louder, and I'm not sure what this is about, but there have been people out here calling for peace, to tell everybody to please stay calm. But it is a very, very emotional time for people out here.
Now, she's saying that there's people out there calling for peace, as y'all could see in the back. You can see, a crowd of a few black folks getting kind of riled up. But honestly, I don't think this is something this isn't a Trayvon Martin type of thing. And this is something we can't blame the system for. I just laid out three of the main facts of why he was convicted. Like I said, in my eyes, it was never a there was never a time where I thought whether he was innocent or guilty. He's guilty. We know that. He did it. The question always was in my mind of what kind of punishment are they going to give the kid, because he is a underage teenager, which normally that doesn't matter either, depending on how bad the unaliving was, like were they robbing him or something. But by them being petty, arguing over somebody sitting in a seat or something like that, those being teenagers, I didn't know. I was just wondering if they would punish him to the full extent of the law, or will they give him a chance to rehabilitate himself and enter society again. That's all. But this thing about the makeup of what nationality of people were on the jury, to me, it doesn't matter. It didn't matter. Even if they did have some black folks there, he was still gonna be considered charged as guilty because he is guilty. Can we all admit that? Can I because I know I'm gonna get some people on here like, oh, why would you say that? I'm just stating the facts. We brought it up. He did do it. We know that. There's no dispute there. He did use unreasonable force. We've established that. There's no doubt about that. And he did unalive somebody. So I don't see what the problem is. One thing I could say, man, is us as black folks, we can't overreact with all of the crying and all of that. I'm quite sure he's gonna appeal the case, or whatever. But we'll see. Let's see. I want to see how much time you get. That's going to be the determining factor to me, is how much, what kind of punishment are they going to give this kid. But we'll see. I want to know what you guys think down below. Do you guys believe that the verdict was right? Do you think this kid should have been guilty of unaliving? Like I think so. There's no hesitation with me saying that he is guilty of what they charged him with. It's just, I don't know what kind of punishment he should get. What do you guys think? I would love to know what you guys think down below about this. All right? That's all the time I got for this topic. Please make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that hype button, hit that like button. And y'all already know I'm going to be back with some more reaction videos, some more news, and I'm definitely going to